White balance is a third important camera setting when photographing your art. It determines the accuracy of the colors captured by the camera, and you get whiter whites. The best place to start understanding white balance is with an explanation of color temperature. All light has a color hue. Scientists measure this color in degrees Kelvin, which is an absolute temperature scale. It has no negative numbers. The color temperature of light depends on its source. In other words, different types of light sources emit light at different color temperatures. For example, the light from a tungsten bulb has a lower color temperature, 3000 to 3500 degrees Kelvin, and is reddish yellow. Direct sunlight has a higher temperature, 5500 to 6500 Kelvin, and is bluish. This is not unlike the change in the color of metal as it is heated from red hot to white hot. Importantly, we are generally unaware of the differences in color between light sources because our brains automatically adjust for the color temperature. As a result, we see a white sheet of paper as white under most lighting conditions. The problem comes when taking a photograph. Unlike people, the camera sees the actual color of the light. The solution is to adjust the white balance. It turns out that we can compensate for the color temperature by balancing it with more yellow or blue to offset the predominant color of the light and create white, hence the term white balance. With film, you do this by using the correct type of film, tungsten or daylight, or by adding a blue or yellow filter. With digital cameras, you make a similar adjustment electronically by setting the white balance. And the correct white balance is the one that matches the color temperature of the light source. Okay, so how do you know if the white balance is right or wrong? You know by looking at the image. An incorrect white balance setting will result in a color shift toward yellow or blue, which throws off all of the colors in your art. With the correct white balance set, the image will have accurate color and neutral whites and gray tones. Getting the white balance right requires that you pay attention to the type of light source you're using and set the white balance on the camera to match. The following examples will help illustrate. If you're using tungsten light, but the camera is set for sunlight, then the image will be too yellow. This happens because the camera thinks the light is more blue than it really is, and doesn't correct for yellow in the light. Oops, wrong setting. Conversely, shooting in sunlight, with the camera set for tungsten, will result in an image that is too blue. In this case, the camera thinks the light is more yellow than it actually is, and doesn't correct for the blue. Oops, wrong again. But in sunlight, with the camera set for sunlight, the white balance is right, and the colors in the image are correct. Now you've nailed it. Okay, let's see how to set the white balance on your camera so the colors are accurate. On this compact camera, I first press the function button, which opens the function or settings menu. Then I use the dial to find the white balance settings and select the setting that most closely matches my light source, in this case fluorescent light. Most cameras have setting for tungsten and fluorescent light, as well as sunlight and shade. Avoid using the auto or AWB setting. It doesn't correctly adjust the white balance for most artwork because of the way the camera determines the white balance in auto. Finally, I press the function button again to set the white balance. With this DSLR, the white balance setting is accessed from the menu. I first press the menu button, and from the menu access the white balance settings. I then use the dial to find the setting that matches my light source. A number of the choices are provided, including one that can set the white balance to a specific color temperature. Pressing the Set button again will complete my selection. With mobile devices, many camera apps will let you adjust the white balance setting. Now you're all set. The white balance setting on your camera matches the light source you're using, and you'll have accurate colors and whiter whites.